Once. Okay.
Okay.
Go live. Go live. Hi guys. I think I am going, it's spinning, but I think Patsy, we are live now. Guys, I'm so happy. Today is Patsy Julie with me, a founder of Elevate You. Patsy, to you, first of all, welcome. Welcome to the Next Level Transformation Hub. How are you today?
I'm doing really wonderful. Thank you. And yourself?
I'm amazing. We finally, with your help, figured out how to go live because it wasn't working. We had such a technical difficulties. Thanks, Patsy, for your this good energy.
Oh, well, it had to be the good energy because I'm just was going along with you, reading along. And sometimes we need somebody by our side to get through, to get to our next step, don't we?
Absolutely. Patsy, do you mind to explain what is Elevate You? What do you do? Who do you help?
Sure. So I'm Patsy DeLay, and I am the founder of Elevate You, and it's a group membership. I'm going to just read my. I've I've been busy talking, so I'm going to just read this for you all. So, the goal of Elevate You is to foster a supportive and empowering community that encourages personal growth, well being by integrating core values. And the core values are 12 pillars that I needed to instill within my life. So, it's my experience that I want to share with you and hope that it will help you. And those core values are self love, self compassion, self empathy, self forgiveness, self trust, self reliance, hope in self, faith in self, gratitude, honesty, authenticity, and daily mindset within our life. And these pillars really helped me to evolve to the woman I am today. I believe throughout life, you are not the same person. We wake up, we're constantly evolving, whether we are aware of it or not. And I needed a lot of growing up in my emotional trigger reaction behaviors due to what I only knew and how I kept myself safe through all the different traumatic experiences that have occurred in my life. So I'm all encompassing my life experiences, which now I can add joy, happiness, and gratitude, and all of that, um, where it used to be dark and deep, drink my feelings away, or drink to feel like I fit in, and then it became an addiction. But honestly, my addiction was my emotional triggers that I didn't know how to handle. And so I picked up what I knew or what I saw with the people that were around me. Not good, not bad people. People experience same life situations and they utilize the drinks and the drugs to, take them away from reality or to help them deal with life. Like, oh, gotta have a drink. I'm gonna go on stage and talk. No, that's not gonna be me. I'm gonna, you know.
Yeah.
So and I've had multiple traumatic experiences happen to me in life. When I was 5, I was severely burned, 45% of my body, second and third degree burns. I'm getting close to June is the 60th anniversary that I've been a miracle to be alive for 60 years. Because in 1965, they really didn't know how to take care of burns. And so I lived. And how grateful I am today that I'm alive. Over 14 years ago, I may have, or 30 years ago, there was a time I didn't want to live. We'll just go with that. Um, and every time I would disappoint somebody, I didn't want to live. Every time I couldn't make somebody happy, I didn't want to live. That was my only choice: fight or flight. And I did have a suicidal attempt. Thank God for the angels that came down to move the revolver away from me. Um, And that was a beautiful spiritual awakening. And thanks to my counseling with an individual therapist and group counseling, that gets me to where I am today. Um, so I'm a woman that also dealt with sexual abuse. I also dealt with domestic violence, and that was on both sides. My first husband and our emotional reaction was all we knew, and that was to argue, fight, and it just wasn't a healthy situation. I would say that maybe he was a little more advanced into his alcoholism, that I wasn't even aware of mine. And so we separated, and I divorced him, and then I remarried, and then I've gone through a lot. And my last huge trauma, for personal trauma, was a concussion in 2019, when I was right on my way of doing photography, selling photos. Things were really going for me. And then I had to learn how to talk like I am now versus pausing like I say like a 1960s robot. Hello, how are you? It took me that long to get words from my head to my tongue. So I had to relearn how to do that. Um, I had, I'm finally wearing more or less regular glasses. But I have vertigo, sun sensitivity, and I have balance issues. My doctor, the optician, concussion specialist, took my driving privileges away because my eye-hand coordination was 4 out of 100. And I was able to get all of it back. No longer need my husband's arm or a cane to walk with. I can talk pretty regular. I have to pay attention to my migraines. Stammering or stuttering or migraines, ringing of the ear, are all side effects of the concussion, which some of it is happening right now. I have to slow my speech down a bit so
Mm,
that I'm not going to stammer or I'm not going to stutter. So
mm,
this is where I am. This is where life led me, and I'm joyous. And all of that didn't happen to me; it happened for me. As a very huge motivational speaker, Tony Robbins says, life happens to you, not for you. And how can you use it to better your life? And then how can I choose to use? How can I use it to help you
mm.
out there in the world,
Yeah.
to get out of being unstuck, get out of living in victim, not even knowing you are. Um, that you too have dreams, aspirations, and I can help you with the bottom leg up. Those that
Mm,
that we need a foundation, and we have to really get to our tap root. And I can love people through it, and they
mm.
can live their dream. I've
Oh,
had some successes in the past 2 years, and life is good.
wow. Your positivity, knowing how much you, went through and how you are today. I only know you from bump calls. We both with Patsy on the what we call it, bump TV, bump global TV.
Um, Bump Global TV. We are globalites,
We are
and we
globalized and we
and we
always
sit on.
looking for other
Yeah,
lights for you guys if you want to do the bump, join the lights, become the light. Yeah, and Patsy, can I give you a hug?
absolutely.
This is such an inspiring story, and it's so hard. It's like it would be like it. I don't know, like it would be so hard to overcome, but you did it. What was that? How did you manage to do that? Was it something inside of you that you had? How did you manage to go and become who you are today? What was the drive?
Well, you know, I I was disappointed in myself, the way that I was reacting, and I really needed to figure out the whys.
Mm,
And it's okay to go out and party and have a drink or two, but for me in life, it's not okay. I cannot pick up a drink. I had to really get to the bottom root of what my issues were, and that was dealing with my skewed thinking. Now, you know, I didn't think I was loved because love to me looked differently than the way it was given to me. My mother only knew what she knew on how to love. She wasn't hugged, or they didn't say I love you, or things like that, but that's what love looked like to me. Being in the hospital at such an early age, I was tended to, I was taken care of. I had 3 meals a day and snacks in between. My bandages were changed. People would come in and they'd love on me. And I had it constant for close to 6 months. And so I had nurses and doctors and student nurses coming in. And so I had all that attention, right? And glory. And then I get to go home. And I get to go home. And I go home to a family of 2 very hard factory workers raising 6 children. And things are different, you know? And so I just, what I ended up finding out is everybody around me was loving me. I wasn't. And I had to learn the truth, and I had to learn to stop lying to myself. And when I first heard that, I got real defensive. What do you mean I'm lying to myself? Well, is it the truth, Patsy? When you look at it, aren't you being loved in their way, not how you see it? I'm like, ah. And then, you know, for example, I use my mom because I'm very much like my mom. I have that ability to talk and share my wisdom, I guess, and knowledge. And when I was asked, could you forgive your mom for only knowing what she knows? That's one of the most powerful messages I ever got in life, because I was almost like driving into a boulder. I'm like, what? Of course I can. Of course. But nobody had ever used that type of words or terminology with me, and my lights weren't on. My awareness switch wasn't ready to be flipped. And I'm like, yeah, I could. And then I was able to forgive myself for only knowing what I know. And then give myself permission to live the way I choose to live versus living for other people. I have to get my fan because it's getting really steamy in here.
Course,
Just one
do it,
second.
absolutely, absolutely do it. I'm gonna entertain the guys here. So we are talking with the Patsy, and Patsy is one of the members in Bum Pump TV. So that's how I know. And I thought she's always, whenever she talks, she's always brings funny. Oh, you here? We just connect. Like I feel her, and I thought, oh, I would love Patsy to come here and talk to you guys. Okay, so while you were away, I was just talking to the guys to see how
Well,
cute.
thank you for helping me. I just didn't want my fanny on
Yeah,
screen in the air
absolutely.
reaching over for my
I don't
fan.
want that to. No.
We're not that kind of live stream.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing, so you had to learn how to love yourself and forgive your mom, forgive yourself, and this was the step into
And
this freedom, into who you are now, into becoming you.
forgive my expectations of what others should do to make me comfortable. They're not responsible for me making myself comfortable. But my whole thinking was skewed, and that's okay. And I demonstrated this person a little more harshly, a little more dominantly. Uh, I didn't have this joy. I didn't have this freedom of peace. I didn't, you know, um, I would worry about what others people think of me. Today, if I want to dance in the store in the line, I'm going to dance in the store in line. If my husband, he likes to do all, he does the shopping, and sometimes I go on in with him.
Yeah.
And if there's a song on, I'm dancing. I'm dancing up the aisles. I do not care. I
Yeah.
used to care. what other people thought about me. And you know what? Sometimes it brings a smile to other people's faces. Sometimes somebody decides to dance with me. And I'm like, I should put this on video just because I do this too.
Oh,
Do you?
yeah.
And yeah, so it's it's very comforting to get to where I am today. It's I just celebrated 14 years with being away from alcohol, drugs, cigarettes is 12 years, cigarettes and diet sodas and a new diet to take care of my health better. I'm still dealing with my sugar um,
We
issues
all
that I
have a
just
bit
love
of,
sweets.
yeah, yeah,
I love
yeah.
sweets. I
So
haven't gotten
do
off
I.
from Christmas and Thanksgiving yet, but I'm working toward,
Yeah,
eating less of those, which
yeah,
is a lot healthier for me.
yeah.
Um, but
So
yeah,
the,
it's all about also breaking the chain of my ancestry past. We only learn what our ancestors teach us, and
mm,
um, unless you take steps to create yourself to be who you want to be, then you're going to just continue that. And my hugest why is I want to show my granddaughter. So I already had an elder granddaughter from my husband's family
mhm.
line. And then I have my granddaughter from my son's family line. And now we have, like, I have my son in law's children in our lives. And now we have great grandbabies. And I want to break the chain. We don't need to have that type of thinking. You can continue to be creative. You do not have to go outside of who you believe you are intended to be here on earth. Yes, you might have to be diplomatic or cautious of how you say things because there are consequences to every action. But I hope not only for my children in my life, but for anybody that comes into my life, that they realize that they're here to do a job, a mission, and that's to become their highest self, not only to help themselves out, but to help others in the world. And that's what I truly believe and truly connect to. I have different spiritual connections. I was brought up religious. I live a spiritual life. Those are my choices that have helped me become who I am today. We all have the right to our own choices as long as we're not harming others. So that's a beautiful gift.
That is indeed such a beautiful, beautiful gift, Patsy. It's amazing. What fascinates me the most is that you are now so free and so confident, like dancing in the shop, and no one, whatever. If that's what I want, I do it. But before you were not like that. How did this confidence in you, like, how did you achieve that confidence in you so you become like me? I like me, this is me, and I do whatever I want.
I think it was always there. And I think that my parents didn't ingrain it within me, and God given talents was within me. I got lost with thinking that I had to be a certain person for different individuals.
Mm.
So I got lost, and I had to find myself. And really, I what I went and did, and I'm like going, okay, so what do I? Who is the Patsy I remember myself really, really loving and cherishing? And that was the young gal in school.
Mm.
And my go-to attitude, my because I was very active in school, and I don't talk about it often, but I was a very good field hockey player, and I made All-American when I was a junior in high school, which got me to the college, my first year of college, my only year in college. I've taken courses outside. Um, I was in band, I was in chorus, I did drama, and I was a really good cheerleader. So I always did what I wanted to do and accomplish to the best of my ability. Um, I I am competitive. We were brought up competitive, and so I try to keep that at a even level. Like, I'm not competing against you. I'm with you in this. So it's not a team sport where it's
Mm,
against each other. It's the no I in team
mm, mm,
situation. But I do want to succeed. And
absolutely.
so I went back to that girl and started growing her up, started emotionally maturing up. And
Mm,
some people are stuck in immature reaction. I was one of those people. I
mm,
still can if I'm not paying attention to what I need. And that's a balance.
mm,
I have a balance. Like when I'm off, I'm like going, what's going on? Oh, Patsy, you haven't picked up a paintbrush lately. Uh, well,
mm,
Patsy, have you really gotten and sat down and been quiet and gotten in touch with God? I mean, yes, I wake up every morning to and say thank you for life today.
yeah,
Thank
beautiful.
you for life today is a huge gift. And then at the end of the night saying thank you for this beautiful day. But I need to remember to sit quiet and be with self and the universe. And that's I do a lot of when I'm outdoors, a lot of grounding. That's when I
Mm,
take my camera to my
mm,
phone, and now even my Canon. I can use my Canon now.
yeah,
I
yeah,
have to use the automatic focus because I
mm,
don't have the manual down just yet.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
but yeah, I I believe that God put people in my life, and I was ready to listen.
mm,
I was ready to learn, and I was ready to take on the responsibility of being me. And everybody had told me, Patsy, you've always been this. You've always been a Reiki master. So now you have the certificate and you're going to continue to learn on that. Great. But you've always been a healer in
mm,
my life. You've always been a supporter in my life. I was a coach for my vocation. I worked with people with different disabilities and people that ended up being like injured on jobs
mm,
in the vocational field. Yeah, so I've done a lot of different things.
so,
And, it's just melded me to be who I am. But, I could still be that Patsy underneath these covers, not wanting to get up and face life or face, no, I'm too scared to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm afraid of how I'm going to react. Um, because I've been known to slap a person or two out in real life, and that's not who I want to be. But that was my reaction to life situation.
mm,
Um, yeah,
so,
so here I am,
yeah,
front and present,
yeah.
living
And
my life joyfully and peacefully.
and if you could compare your 20s, 30s, 40s, what when was your best or the peak kind of
I
decade?
would,
Or
I
it's still there, it's still to come.
I wouldn't change any of it. I've gone from being a cheerleader field hockey player from high school to riding on the back of a bike with my first husband in a motorcycle group, being wild and crazy, wearing leather halter top and leather pants, shining my scars. No different than growing up being on the beach wearing a two-piece bathing suit that my mother was afraid that I would get picked on. And the one thing she taught me was like, just tell them they're scars and run off and play if they ask you what those are. And um, I, I loved every bit of who I was, even though that I had challenging moments in my life, because who I was is who has built me to be who I am today. I would never change having my beautiful child, my son, who is 35 now,
Yeah.
and my beautiful granddaughter. So no, I wouldn't change life the way. even though the hardships were scary and uncomfortable, and I couldn't stand being in that, I know I wouldn't be who I am today to be able to help and serve and honor so many other individuals in life. You know, I'm waiting for God puts them in my lap, and I'm learning all that stuff that's not my forte. You know, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a marketing person. I'm a heart-centered, people-loving coach, get you out of the muck kind of person. And, you know, okay, it's all right. Go on and live your life. And if you ever need, pick up the phone. Here I am.
Yeah.
Before I was like, why do people come in my life and go? Why do people come in my life and go? And I never understood it. And it was because I was the skills that God gave me. This is my belief, folks, that I was instilled with helping people get up and get out and get moving. So I'm that founder of like, okay, what's your scariest shit? Why? And and here's some ideas. You want to try them? I don't push anybody. I might be firm and direct by saying, is that really so? Why don't you take a look at this a little bit more? Because you just said blank, 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 and blank, but you're telling yourself this.
Mm. Yeah.
And why do I know this? Because that was me. And it is me. And so my clients are individuals that are have gone through like situations. And it was just for women last year, but I opened it up because men need this too. And
Mm.
I can connect with men pretty easily.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So I opened it up to men as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Patsy. Your energy, your passion, your everything. Tell me what's the next for you? What are you looking forward to this year? What is happening this year with you? There's been a lot of growth.
Well, well, last year in 2024, I had already put out in the universe through prayers and just saying it out loud. I want to write a book and I want to be a speaker on stage. Um,
It's happening.
and so the book is being written right now. I do have help with it with through a publisher, which is a different avenue. So that's behind the scenes of Elevate You. And I may have an opportunity with Bump Global as a globalite to get on stage in Las Vegas in the third week in June. So that's what's on my radar as and continue traveling. That's for the business component. I do more work when I'm stationary. I'm learning how to do more while I'm on the road. So right now, I maintain doing my first Saturday of the month pillar meeting. So, for example, we've had love, we've had compassion, and this March is the third pillar, and that's self empathy. And I talk about that on the private Elevate You 2 page. And the first Saturday of the month is when I do the Zoom meeting. I share my experience and then I open it up to everybody can come to a love seat and share if they would. Sort of like the bump pump. It's not a Q&A. It's more like this is the message I delivered on self-empathy, how I had to gift it to myself. Do you see yourself needing to gift that to you? Where are you? Would you like to share? And if they want to share, they can share. And if they don't, then they don't. And I'll just pick up wherever it's left off. It's very, very affordable. I'm a woman of not a lot of means. I know what it's like to cut corners, to save money, to give to myself. So for this group programming, for the Zoom and the recording, it's $20.
Yeah. And can we share then the
And
link for people in case someone wants to join and get working with you, Patsy? We can share that link here.
oh, okay. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
I appreciate
absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
So, and some people say, you know, nobody's going to want to work with you unless you charge high money. And I'm saying, you know what? I'm the person. that needed to, I'm going to wash my socks, my underwear, my t-shirts by hand so I can save money to buy myself a vehicle. So if I want to work on myself, I've got to get rid of spending my money on other things that
Mm,
can be spent on me,
mm,
because I finally learned that I'm worth it. Now, yes, if somebody opened up a program and it was, $2,000
mm.
and I had the money, I'd join because I knew that that's what I needed. But some people don't know, and
Mm,
it's important for me to learn how to charge for myself. Just like
absolutely.
it's important for me to learn how to charge for my photos, to learn how to charge for my paintings. It
Mm,
was all real difficult. It difficult in the sense of I was really uncomfortable
mm,
putting a price to something because I didn't know. So I had to learn. And then they would say, that's way too low. You should have it at this price and it will sell. And it's kind of funny, but it's true. Um, but I want to be able to offer it for everybody, no matter where they're at. So I have a scale and different types of levels.
yeah.
And I have founders in my program, and they came in at a certain level. And now I'm working on explorers. They can come in at a certain level, and they get 25% off. And the whole thing is I do this 12 pillar program in a 12-week program, one-on-one with individuals, so that
Wow.
we can get right into the nitty gritty of each one of these pillars. And that's my high ticket. But my middle ticket is groups at $52 and one-on-one at 100. So
Do you
yeah,
hear
so
that? This is great. Patsy will
I
share
have a
everything.
plan.
This is great. Yeah, this is beautiful, Patty. We're definitely gonna share here the details if you're willing to share with us.
Thank
We
you,
do
Ingrida.
that. Yeah.
And
And
all of I just want to say all of this fills my heart.
mm,
And I make time for my family, for there's when I get back to my grandbabies, that
mm,
everything is scheduled so that I can do it all. Before it
mm,
used to be no, I have to do this. And now it's yes, I want to do this. And I can say, nope, I can't do that today. I couldn't say no to people. I was always a yes person,
mm.
always a yes
Yes,
person.
so do I.
Um,
Yeah. I
like
can relate a lot
learning
what you're saying. Yeah.
learning that no is a full sentence was really
Yeah.
liberating. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, I just said no to a person. And
Without
then it was
explanation and without feeling bad. Just no. No is no.
and then it was not taking it back.
Yeah.
Say what you mean what you say, do what you
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Patsy, the final thoughts, because I know you have to go soon. The final thoughts for my audience, what would you like to share?
Well, first of all, tell me a little bit more about your audience so I can deliver a message to help them.
So I started this group for females. It's funny for females who had a lot of gut problems and hormonal imbalance. And then as my practice grew and I grew, I decided um, that actually it's not just about your body chemistry. It's so much more. It's how you think. So, and everything like energy, spirituality, everything. So I changed the name, and I think the audience is a bit of mixture. So there's most of them I think are females, with because I'm functional medicine practitioner, and so there are some people that with some health issues, but there's a lot of, and even the same people have a lot of interest in what you do, in the work you do, in the coaching, in spirituality, in the mindset, in self-development. So that's what I believe they are. I need to check it actually.
Well, Sounds like we need to do a group, collaborate on a group training. Uh, I believe in the whole physiological issues with our body, mind, spirit. I believe in that. And I believe that our thinking and is our stress and the way we what choices we make brings hardship onto our physical bodies. I had to accept and learn, and let me change my wording there. There's a little trigger. I didn't have to do anything. I chose to listen to other people and to learn new things because I only knew what I knew. And
Mhm.
so, folks, if you're a person that's feeling stuck, if you are bedridden because of pain, I've been there,
Mm.
then come join me and I'll help you out with getting unstuck. You don't know how? I'm a woman that thinks out of the box. I listen to you. I learn what your heart is speaking. And I want to help you. Most of all, that's what I want to do. I want to help you. I want to love on you so you can learn to help yourself and love on you so that you too are brought to your higher self to help other people in this world because this world surely needs as much love as possible. And it sounds like the mixture of what Ingrida has, that she's there to help you as well. And that's why we are connected.
Mm.
That's what I believe.
Beautiful, Patsy. Thank you so much for
Aw, thank
sharing
you
your
for your time.
story, for your inspiration and thoughts and everything. I so appreciate you. And guys, thank you so much for being here with us Sunday evening or morning or wherever you are watching from. Patsy, thank you so much again. I really appreciate you.
Ingrida, thank you for the privilege of being here and getting to know you a little more. Blessed are we.
Thank you.
Peace. Love you.